I'm Victoria. I'm Vanessa. Yeah, it's okay if you can't tell us apart. I guess we would call it Twingineering. Yeah.
Ready?
3,
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to our 30th episode of Twingineering. If you are new here, we created this podcast um, to be a resource for Latinas and other first-generation minorities in engineering. And we do that by providing our own advice, knowledge, our own testimonies, but also bringing on guests on our podcast because Vanessa and I can only provide so much information
Yes.
because we only know what we've experienced in our own lives. Oh, also, we don't say our names. I'm Victoria.
Oh, I'm Vanessa.
Welcome. So today we're gonna start off with weekly highs and lows, like we always do. And then we'll go into our episode theme. Today our episode theme is EE stuff. Everyone clap. Um, we thought that bringing on some more educational topics onto our podcast can be a good resource for anyone listening or anyone interested who may not be exposed to these kinds of topics elsewhere. Um, so there is that disclaimer. Vanessa and I are not professors in
Right.
any way, but and we're not like selling a course or anything, but we do just want to introduce our listeners to engineering topics and like I said, expose them to engineering in the case that they are not exposed to that elsewhere. And that is our main goal with their podcast as well. Right, we can learn from others' experiences, but you know, we are also engineers. Um, so yeah, I mean, knowledge is power, so we want to spread that.
Yeah.
So we will start off with our weekly highs and lows. I can go first. Last weekend I had my little housewarming, a tiny one with some friends and family. I think it was a super fun weekend. Getting to see everyone. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a good time, you know. Just had some food, went out, good vibes, good vibes.
Yes. Did you want to say your low as well?
Sure. This week, I would say I didn't have my lunch prepped, so I was like, wow, I'm gonna be hungry today.
Oh no. I hate being
Or
hungry.
yeah, I just like don't know what to eat. I mean, thankfully I don't live that far from work, so I did come home sometimes and just like eat something. But yeah, I hate when that happens.
I
And
know.
it's all my fault. It's like the consequences of my own actions, really.
I know, I feel that. For me, my low was well, one of them was that I lost my AirPods in the airport. Yeah, sadness. My second one was that I had to pay for my tire replacement and alignment and then to change my title into my own name. And it's like, man, my car is just asking for too much, you know?
But at least you have it
Right.
now.
Now it should be done. Like, please stop. You're not getting a car wash.
Mm-mm.
That's asking for too much. But yeah, so that was my low. My high was that I was able to go to LA last weekend as well. I went to support the HSF STEM Summit, but it was taking place in LA, which worked out because I attended Victoria's housewarming festivities and then got to see family as well. So it was a good time. Um, yeah,
Busy weekend. Busy weekend.
busy, yes.
So we can just go into our theme for the episode, EE stuff. Also, we focus on electrical engineering because that's what we studied.
Yeah.
Don't want to spread the wrong information out there, stuff I don't know. So this is going to be electrical related stuff. All right. Vanessa, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so this is just a quick like introduction to it. Some basic things that you should know. Um, well, first, like what is a circuit? Circuits are used heavily within electrical engineering. So there are three kinds of circuits. A closed circuit or like a, I guess like a proper circuit, and then there's an open circuit, and then there's a short circuit. Um, the basic circuit is the closed circuit, basically when it functions the way it's supposed to. So when you have like a voltage source, there's a load that's included so that the voltage can drop from um, higher potential to lower potential, and you have current flow. Um, yeah,
The
correct.
circuit.
Um, so basically, that's a good one. Yeah.
You want that circuit.
Right. You want that circuit. You want it to work correctly. Then you have an open circuit, which is basically an incomplete circuit. Either something's not connected, the voltage dropped, or yeah, it's not possible. There is no current flow, so it's not working. That's when you have to check your connections, right? Um, and then there's a short circuit where there's like no load, so there's nothing restricting the current and it's just going. And that's very bad. Um, you don't want that one either. You want you want the open circuit more than you want the short circuit.
But yeah, I mean, we'll get into some examples also. But in summary and in very basic terms, there you have it.
Yeah, short circuit, very bad.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Um, so some examples of an open and closed circuit, which I think is like pretty relevant, something that we see every day is like a light switch. You turn on and off a light, flashlight, what else? Any kind of light, right? Light switch. Um, in the closed circuit, which is the one that we want, right? The light turns on. Yay, because we want some light sometimes. Um, and that creates a closed loop circuit, so that allows the current to flow through the circuit. I feel like I'm saying circuit so many times, but it flows from the source through the bulb and returns to the battery, the source, whatever. Um, and so in this case, we do have an open circuit if the light switch is turned off or um yeah, I was gonna say if the flashlight is off, but same thing.
Yeah.
Um, and this is not necessarily like a bad thing, but if you want the light on and you have an open circuit, it's not gonna happen. And so in this case, the loop is not closed, and the circuit is disconnected and current cannot flow through. All right, so closed circuit, flat, flashlight, light is on. Open circuit, current cannot flow. It's kind of like a cliff, right? Where it's like trying to go, but like the bridge, there's no bridge there.
Right.
So it can't flow. It cannot flow. It cannot get to the other side. So you can think of it that way also. Short circuit example, um, anything like a blown fuse, a power outage, tripped circuit breakers where there's a low resistance path, like Vanessa was talking about, and there's too much current flow. Um, and this can cause fires, power outages, like I said, um,
Overheating.
etc. Oh yeah, overheating, etc. Flickering lights. Trying to think. So if you see that kind of stuff, beware.
You have
Walk
this.
away. I'm just kidding. Um, yeah.
But yeah, so that's a basic introduction to a circuit, what a circuit is. And that's just Victoria and I talking about it. If you have the opportunity to look online for some visuals, that definitely helps. Um, so another thing I want to introduce is Ohm's law. That's very big. in electrical engineering. Ohm's law is like the formula for voltage is equal to resistance times current,
Okay.
V equals RI. Um, so that's the formula, but essentially it's used in like how do you calculate a circuit, you know? Um,
Hmm.
and then going further into that, when we talk about power, power is voltage times current. Um, so that's like RI squared if you kind of break that down as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
so and
It's
then
ba-
voltage, huh?
no, I was gonna say it's basically saying that the current is directly proportional to voltage
Yeah.
and inversely proportional to resistance. So like you have a voltage, right? And like it stays the same. So if your current is going up, then your voltage is going, I mean, sorry, if your current is going up, then your resistance is lower. Um, and then vice versa. So if you have a higher resistance, the current is lower. So hopefully that kind of helps you picture it a little bit more. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah. And then just talking about units, because I remember Victoria and I when we took our first lab class, I didn't know what the units were for a lot of these things. So we went in with just vibes. Um,
Hmm.
so for voltage, it's volts. And I'm not gonna say obviously because some people wouldn't know if this is absolutely your first time hearing about voltage. Um, resistance, the unit of measurement is ohms, and then for current, it's in amps or amperes. But yeah, I remember Victoria and I were like in the lab, and they're like, get this resistor with like I don't know, 10 ohm value, and we're like, or we OHM. I'm like, what the heck is OHM?
Yeah. I was
Anyway.
like, what is an OHM? Yeah, so it's pronounced ohms, everyone. Anyways,
Yeah. Anyways, moving on.
yeah. Um, the next thing we're going to talk about is parallel and series circuits. Um, there's different ways to calculate them, but we're just going to go into like what they are, some examples, and then maybe in another episode we'll go into like calculation. But we'll see how that goes because this is a podcast. Can't really present anything to you unless you're watching. But parallel and series circuits. Um, they are different. So in a parallel circuit, uh, also please look these up for just like a visual representation. We're gonna try to describe as best as we can. But yeah. So in a parallel circuit, we have, for example, resistors that share a common node, um, but the current splits. So in a parallel circuit, the voltage across each component is the same, um, but the current is different. In a series circuit, right. So yeah, they're parallel. And you'll see that if you look up a photo of circuit. In a series circuit, um, if these resistors share a node, the current does not split, right? So they're essentially right next to each other, and the voltage is dropped or it's divided across these two resistors, or I guess however many resistors, but the current is the same. So parallel voltage is the same across the components, current is different. In a series circuit, the voltage is different, current is the same.
Yes.
All right, I said that correctly. I'm like, let me not mess up. Um,
Yeah, honestly, like just I think the introduction of that and kind of just explains a little bit more of like the use of these equations and then
mhm,
how
mhm.
the circuit works in general. So it's like
Right.
giving the picture of the circuit and then how are these utilized and how are they put together. But I
Yeah.
remember also like once I heard or like I was taught about that like a parallel the voltage is the same, and then in series, like the voltage is different, and the current. Um, I was like, wow, that helps so much, like visually, and then like just understand how to calculate a circuit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So to get some examples out there, so we can better imagine that in the real world, Christmas lights or like any strands of lights, basically. Um, so if you see that one light goes out, one little bulb or one LED and like an LED strip goes out, but all of the other ones are still on, then that means you have a parallel circuit. But if one light goes out and then so do like all of the other ones, and they're all dead, you have no light, then this is a series circuit. Why? Because if they are all connected like in a series circuit, that same current is flowing through all of those. So if you lose that, right, it's just all gone. You have no current flowing through any of those bulbs because they are in series. But if you have a parallel circuit, you have a different current going to like each bulb, right? You could say. Um, and so one bulb is not reliant on the current of another bulb. So if one goes out, you still have the other bulbs to rely on for light. So hopefully that made sense. That example, I feel like that's like uh, a good visual for us to kind of picture parallel and series circuits in the real world. Um,
But yeah, that was a quick introduction to what is a circuit, the types of circuits, um, how like what kind of connections there can be within circuits, and then understanding what's going through them, um,
right.
in the simplest way possible.
And we'll definitely cover more. I think we just kind of want to see like
How this goes
where
because
we're at. Yeah.
that
Um, so just to kind of summarize what we went through today, we went through what a circuit is, right? So we have closed circuits, open circuits, and short circuits. So we went over those three examples of those three. Um, and then we went into Ohm's law, power, write those equations, as well as the units for
goes.
each.
Yeah.
And then after talking about circuits or the different types of circuits, open, closed, short, we went into talking about parallel and series circuits and then examples for those as well. Um, like we said, we would recommend looking up those visuals, just so you get a better understanding. But that's all Vanessa and I have to talk about today. Honestly, we thought this was gonna go on for a lot longer.
But hey, at least this is a short introduction. If you want to hear more, let us know. This is kind of
A
our
trial run.
yeah. But yeah,
Mm.
we're also looking forward to introducing other topics, and maybe other resources and people's experiences with these resources. So, more
Definitely.
to come on that. But
Yeah, maybe like equipment, signals, interview, questions, more guests. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But thank you for tuning in. Also please tell us if you absolutely hated this episode because maybe we'll do something else, okay? Um, we don't have any submitted questions. Somebody forgot to reach out to the audience members. Me? All right. But thank you for tuning in if you did. Um,
also,
we
happy Hispanic Heritage Month.
oh yes, of course. Can't forget that.
Them.
Um, our episode will be uploaded this upcoming Friday. I guess it doesn't matter because you're already hearing this episode, but we try to upload an episode at least once every month. It will be available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And Remember to follow us on Instagram at Liera Twins and TikTok, Liera Twins there as well. Vanessa, Victoria, Liera, one of those. Um, and also our website. Feel free to visit our website to learn more, catch some episodes, or I don't know, ask us a question on there as well. But I think that's it. Vanessa, do you have anything else to add?
No, I think you got it all. But yeah, thanks for listening. Always open to your feedback or suggestions. Feel free to reach out um, with
With
anything.
that. All right. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.